A quiet family in Nantes. In 2011, the Dupont de Ligonnès family lived in an ordinary townhouse on a quiet street in Nantes, western France. On the surface, they seemed like any other upper middle class household. Their father, Xavier, was 50 years old, well educated, and from an aristocratic family with a long lineage. He had once been involved in business ventures, though none had really taken off. His wife, Agnes, was a devout Catholic who worked part-time as an assistant in a local Catholic school. Together, they had 4 children: Arthur, aged 20, Thomas, aged 18, Anne, aged 16, and Benoit, aged 13. Neighbours described the family as polite but somewhat private. Nothing about them suggested the dark story that would unfold. The sudden silence. In early April of 2011, neighbours began to notice something strange. The house, usually lively with children, had gone eerily quiet. The shutters were drawn, the mailbox overflowed with letters, and the family's cars were gone. Then, letters began arriving. Each letter was typed, signed by Xavier, and sent to schools, friends, and even neighbours. The letters claimed that the family had to leave immediately because Xavier had been recruited by the DEA, the US Drug Enforcement Administration, to work undercover in America. According to the letters, the family was now in witness protection and would be unreachable for years. At first, some people accepted the story, but soon suspicions grew. The discovery in the garden. On the 21st of April, police searched the family's home. At first glance, it looked as though they had left in a hurry. Clothes were missing, beds had been stripped, and religious icons were left on the tables. But nothing appeared stolen, and the family's beloved dogs were gone. Then, investigators dug in the garden, beneath the terrace. What they found would horrify France. Wrapped carefully in plastic and lime were the bodies of Agnes and all 4 children. Alongside them were the bodies of the family's 2 dogs. Each victim had been drugged, shot in the head with a .22 rifle, and buried with deliberate care. Religious objects, like crucifixes and rosaries, had been placed alongside the bodies. The only person missing from the makeshift gravesite was Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès, the father of the family. The prime suspect. Very quickly, suspicion fell on Xavier. Investigators discovered that he had inherited his father's old .22 rifle. Just before the murders, he had taken out shooting practice at a range with his sons. He had also purchased cement, shovels, and lime. Records showed he'd borrowed money from friends and relatives, racking up debts that he could not repay. Even more chilling was what investigators found on his computer. Research into how to kill someone with minimal suffering, how to dispose of bodies, and how to use silenced rifles. The picture that emerged was that of a man planning something methodical. Xavier's last known moments. In the days after the murders, Xavier vanished. CCTV and credit cards tracked him across southern France. He stayed in small hotels, always alone, and always paying with his own bank card. His last confirmed sighting was on the 15th of April 2011 at a budget hotel in Roquebrune-sur-Argens in the foothills near the French Riviera. His car was found abandoned in the parking lot. From there, he disappeared. Police conducted massive searches of the nearby mountains and forests. Helicopters, dogs, and ground teams scoured the region. Many believed Xavier had walked into the wilderness and taken his own life, but no body was ever found. Theories and sightings. The case quickly became one of the most infamous in modern France. For years, reported sightings of Xavier had poured in from all across the world, in Italy, Scotland, and even as far as Brazil. In 2019, international headlines erupted when a man in Scotland was arrested at an airport, suspected to be Xavier. But after the fingerprint checks, he was sadly ruled out. Some believe that Xavier is still alive, living under a false identity, perhaps helped by his aristocratic friends. Others believe that he lies buried somewhere in the wilderness, near Roquebrune, his body undiscovered. The family's hidden life. As more was uncovered about the Dupont de Ligonnès family, disturbing details emerged. Xavier had long struggled financially. He projected wealth, but was drowning in debt. He had borrowed heavily from friends, family, and even his own children. Agnes, his wife, had confided to friends that she was unhappy in the marriage and at times felt trapped. And then there were the religious undertones, the burial of the victims with crucifixes, and the stripped, ordered house suggested that Xavier had carried out the murders with a ritualistic sense of purpose. Some experts believe he saw it as a twisted form of salvation, sending his family to heaven, while he alone bore the burden of guilt. The shock and legacy. The murders of the Dupont de Ligonnès family devastated France. Here was a respected, aristocratic father who, on the surface, had everything, yet behind the facade, he destroyed his entire family. The case remains unsolved to this day. Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès is still wanted internationally, and his face is one of the most recognized in French true crime. The story continues to fascinate because it raises questions with no answers. Did he kill his family out of desperation? Was it financial collapse, religious mania, or something else entirely? And most hauntingly, is Xavier still out there, living among us as a free man?